Okay, in this video let's get some structure going, a little longer drop to build up. So let's first copy our drums 3 times. So we got a full phrase of drums. Let's copy the rest too. And then we will start with bringing some structure in the drums, some flow throughout the phase. And what I want to talk about first is some drum patterns used in jump up drum and bass. First, the bass drum pattern that you could do is get rid of the first bass drum in between the third and the fourth beat, and then in the second part, that would be this one, the bass drum between 3.3 and 3.4. Get rid of it. That's a pattern for the bass drum that DJ Guff uses a lot, and of course some other jump up artists. It really makes the bass drum halt for a little moment and gives you this flow. Yeah, I don't know how to explain, but it works really great. Another pattern that you could do is to speed up the bass drums a little. Instead of removing this one, put it in front at exactly 1.3, and then here one, instead of between 3.3 and 3.4, put it exactly on 3.3, and then you got this. So it's a small difference, but it can really make the track come together and feel like the style you are after. I'm just gonna go with the pattern without the bass drums at 1.3 and 1.4. I like that one the most, so let's do it in the other parts as well. Then at the fourth, what you call it, the fourth MIDI clip, let's add some extra drums in there. For example, definitely not at 4.2 because there's a snare there, but we could, for example, put some drums here, some rolling drums. But let's make their velocity a little lower so they roll. Something like so. And then let's add a rolling snare at the end. and do the same thing with the velocity. Let's hear what that sounds like. And then let's add some extra snares at the second MIDI clip. Then for the hi-hats, I would at this point, at the third MIDI clip and the fourth MIDI clip, I would add some extra hi-hats. Let's just try copying them. Then copy that one over to here. Okay, so that's a good start for the drums, to get some variation in there and some structure. Now, for the bass line, you probably want some variation at the second part of MIDI clip 2. And some variation in the second part of MIDI clip 4, I mean. So let's try and come up with something. I'm gonna remove some of the main lead synth in here, and I'm gonna introduce the secondary sound instead. So now we got gaps at 3.3 and 4. So let's add some random notes at 3.3 and 4 and see what that sounds like. I think for the second MIDI clip that is pretty good. A subtle change and a little variation to indicate that you're at the end of a phrase. And then at the fourth MIDI clip we will do something similar but more obvious, because then we are at the end of 4 MIDI clips. That's the end of an entire phrase or an entire section within your track. So let's see what we can do here. Okay, so we got gaps at 3.4 and 4.2 onwards. Okay, and now I'm gonna reorder my my channels a bit. Because this one is our phrase starter node. So I will put it at first beneath the sub bass. Then the first sound that starts is our bassline 3, and the secondary synth sound is bassline 1. So let's rename those. Bassla 1, boing, this one is baseline 2, wop, and this one is baseline 3, secondary. Yeah, and this sound we are not using currently. We designed it at the very beginning to have a good starting point for a good jump up bass line, but I think the sound is quite terrible. Let's actually listen to it. Just for trying to get a happy accident, let's try and copy our main lead synth over to this sound and see what they sound like together. Maybe 2 layers of 2 sounds might turn out something interesting, but I doubt it. So this sound is terrible, so I'm just gonna remove the channel to keep things a little bit organized. So okay, that's structured a lot better. And that's it for this video basically. Let's listen to the entire song we got so far, the entire drop, and then I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye. Alright, see ya.